impact of certain wine regions in the world is on others is something we might overlook. You imagine that Italian, Spanish winemakers or Australian, American winemakers are saying, wow, this is great, we've got loads of vines, lovely ripe grapes, let's go and take down the winery and make our own wines. And actually it can be tricky to get past an international precedent. Certainly the wine trade has been very France focused for a number of years, and in particular if you're an international winemaker and you've got not Pinot Noir, you're going to look and say, well, I want to make, in red wines, I'm going to want to make something that's similar to a Bordeaux, or Chateau de Pape, or other bits of the world. But the influence of Bordeaux on winemakers around the world is huge. And it's kind of understandable. Big, structured, ripe wines that command a high price at market. Who doesn't want to make something like that? Probably admirably with your own personal stamp on it, or regional stamp, that's fine. But you can see why the impact of Bordeaux is so strong. The Americans absolutely love the thought that they can do their own things and do their own versions of Bordeaux. Not that they want to totally copy it, but they want to be able to be at the table, I suppose, when it comes to that sort of discussion. And Charles Smith in Washington State looked at his vineyard area and said, hold on a second, this is gravelly, it's south facing, it's kind of cool in the evening, warm in the daytime, it's a bit like Bordeaux. And he made his own version. It's 97% Cabernet Sauvignon, 2% Cabernet Franc, 2% or 1% Petit Verdot, very, very small amounts of those. And I think that changes from vintage to vintage. But certainly he has achieved a wine that is really clearly Bordeaux-led. It's not as rich and ripe and juicy as Napa. It's got a little bit more freshness, but it's still fuller and smoother and rounder than a majority of Bordeaux at its price. And actually that's quite an interesting position to be able to hold. He doesn't have a real chateau, but he has his own vines, and he is clearly paying homage to Bordeaux, and it really works. It's a little bit pencil leady. It's got lovely black currant and cassis notes. It's not quite yet in the tobacco cigar box leathery sort of spicy mould yet, but it might be in a few years' time. For the moment, though, I think it's gorgeous, and a really lovely alternative to Bordeaux, and an alternative to a lot of the other New World Bordeaux blends. Chateau Smith, made by Charles Smith in Washington. Plus, I think it's got a deadly label.